This is Gotham TV Podcast, episode 82, where we are looking at Gotham Mad City, Season 3, Episode 5, Anything for You.
Hey, this is Drew Powell. I play Butch Gilzean on Gotham, and you are listening to Gotham TV Podcast.
Thank you, Butch, for that intro with this obviously incredibly Butch-centric episode, which was fantastic. But welcome back, Gothamites, to our episode 82 on Gotham TV Podcast, where we are looking at Anything for You, which is episode 5 of this third season of Gotham, the Mad City. Yeah, a great Butch episode.
Definitely.
Really, really good. Full of Butch, which is always good. He's one of, well, I think I can say our favourite characters on Gotham.
Absolutely.
Really worked his way up through the ranks from season 1. And in this episode, it looks like he's about to fall right back down those ranks. Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, a really interesting episode of Gotham this week.
Yeah, I kind of thought this was the end of Butch this episode. But before we go into it, this is our spoiler-filled discussion about the episode, season 3, episode 5. So if you haven't seen the episode, pop over and watch it. You can see it on the RTE player in Ireland. At the moment, it's on there for another month. Or if you've already seen it in the US and you're just catching up with us, great to have you with us.
Absolutely. A little bit of news to begin with. We are going to Heroes and Villains FanFest in London.
That's right.
On the 27th and 28th of May. There will be David Mazouz, Sean Pertwee, Robin Lord Taylor, Jessica Lucas, and Drew Powell, and of course the big villain towards the end of season 2, Milo Ventimiglia.
Yeah, season 1, wasn't it?
Season 1.
The Ogre, yeah.
The Ogre.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, really good. Unfortunately, Corey Michael Smith had to pull out.
Yeah.
He was on the roster as well, but
right.
Unfortunately he had other commitments come up. So it'll be a shame to miss him. Definitely. We had booked a Penguin and an Nygma photo together, but unfortunately that won't be happening now. So
That's all right.
boo-hoo. It would have been good to have met Corey Michael Smith.
Well, as you can see on the wall behind my head over there, I think you can probably see, I did actually get to meet Corey Michael Smith. Lovely chap. Really good to meet him last year. I was hoping to get to meet him again this year. Part of the announcement is that we do also have press passes for the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
So we might, crossing our fingers for possibly an interview with some or maybe even all of the cast of Gotham that are at the event. So really looking forward to that. Might get an opportunity to speak.
Yeah, definitely. Like fingers and toes and legs crossed that we can arrange and get some quality interview time with the members of Gotham that are attending the Heroes and Villains FanFest. So should all be really exciting, and we're really looking forward to meeting some of our listeners there, and hopefully a lot more as well. I hope there's a bunch of you heading over to London on the 27th and 28th of May.
Definitely.
And I am sure there will be a few beerettes to go with that, or maybe some purse ciders, as I know one of our listeners really quite likes. Yeah, but Derek, then, what have we got for this episode?
Yeah, this episode, season 3, episode 5, Anything for You, was written by Denise Thé. She's well known, apparently, for her work on Person of Interest. She was one of the showrunners on the show for quite a long time. A really good show, actually.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, really enjoyed that.
Jonathan Nolan.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. She also worked on Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, which I must admit I missed when it was on first, but I started watching quite recently. I watched about 4 or 5 episodes of it, and I'm really, really enjoying it. And one other little fact about Denise Thé, she's also doing a show at the moment called Defenders of the Gao. Why is that interesting? Because we do Defenders TV Podcast, and there is a character in the most recent show, Iron Fist, called Madame Gao. So interesting. I wonder if that'll get past the lawyers over in Netflix and Disney.
Yeah, interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, not only can you listen to us on Defenders, but you can find us at Gotham for all things Gotham at www.gothamtvpodcast.com/iTunes, or just search Gotham TV Podcast on any other good or evil podcast catcher.
That's true. Good catch there, John.
Yeah, absolutely.
Missed that one. The episode was directed by one of our favourite directors, TJ Scott.
Yeah.
He's done 7 episodes of Gotham so far. It's really surprising that he's done so many.
He is really good. He's got a really nice visual style to him, and I think that comes through in this episode as well, definitely.
Yeah, one of the things I was remembering was that just because this show is airing so much later than it was originally supposed to in Ireland, we're months and months behind the US. I remember back in about August time last year, we got a message from TJ Scott with an image of Jervis Tetch's room, the one that's at the end of the episode. So he'd sent on that to us last August, so they were filming it back then.
Wow.
It's amazing. But John, do you want to tell us what they gave us with your synopsis for this episode?
Sure. Oswald Cobblepot's term as mayor starts well, but begins to be undone as a new Red Hood gang appears and openly destroying his newfound achievements, challenging his authority. Nygma hits the trail of the Red Hoods and soon discovers that Butch, after killing his gang, is behind the new version of the group as part of a scheme to undermine Nygma's influence with Penguin and establish himself once again as Cobblepot's right-hand man. Or is that left hand with a hint of iron? At a celebratory party in the new mayor's honour, Bruce tells Selena how he feels about her, but is not sure how Selena feels towards him. As he reasserts his feelings towards her, they both share a kiss. Meanwhile, at the party, Nygma, who has Tabitha Galavan hostage, confronts Butch and manipulates him with the promise of power, but only if he kills Cobblepot. As he executes the plan, he is exposed as the leader of the Red Hood gang and is betrayed by Nygma, failing to kill Penguin in the process. Back at the GCPD, Barnes, who was previously exposed to Alice Tetch's blood, asks Lee about the tests on the blood as he begins to find his feet and a newfound strength from within. Elsewhere in Gotham, Jervis Tetch mourns his sister's death and plots revenge against Gordon.
I see what you did there with the finds his feet. Very good, John.
Yeah. The crutches of no use anymore.
I'm sure we'll be talking about it as we go through our episodes. If you haven't joined us before, the way we cover our episodes is we pick out 5 case notes about the episode, hopefully covering the main points of the show, and then we discuss any notes about the episode as we go into it. John, do you want to kick us off with our first note? It kind of has to be about Butch, doesn't it?
It really does. Butch the Betrayer, absolutely, and the return of the Red Hood gang. This was really heavily Butch orientated, but it was absolutely surprising to see him in charge of this new gang of Red Hoods. It was understandable. You know, he's feeling sort of weak, I think, at the moment. He's feeling slightly on a cliff edge with regards to his relationship with the Penguin.
Absolutely.
Because Nygma really has stolen his thunder. He's been appointed sort of Penguin's chief of staff in his new team. And so he's trying to undermine Nygma here, really. I mean, it kind of, he doesn't start particularly well as the head of Gertrude Cobblepot is shot off the statue. And right in front of Penguin, not a good idea. We know how much he has mummy issues, really loves his mum, and effectively is worshipping her with this unveiling of a statue, and it gets shot off by the Red Hood gang. And
at least they use a sledgehammer as well to knock it off. I wasn't expecting that a gun would be able to do it.
Well, that's true.
That would have been our Batman 66 moment for the episode if it had.
It certainly would have done. The other great...
It was nice to see Gertrude Cobblepot back. I would like to see her back in maybe a flashback rather than a statue next time, though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it really looked like her, to be honest, though. But that was a bad move. I did quite like the other move where he blows up the new school bus that Penguin has sort of bequeathed to a religious school, I think. They also, I think, blow up the priest, actually.
Yes, they don't really. They give the priest a grenade and he can't hold on to it. So is that their fault?
Maybe not.
But we do know right back from season 1, Butch does have something about nuns, because he did capture some nuns and set them across a road. Remember in season 1, episode 6 or 7, I think it was.
But I mean, all these achievements of Penguin, or all these things that are close to him, are gradually being eroded away, and but it brings Penguin and Ed closer together in the end. Really, after the expose of Butch in the club. I mean, I was shocked when Nygma, at least on face value, seemed to be going against the Penguin. And I wonder if, whilst he obviously had laid this as a trap for Butch, I do wonder whether there was something true when he said, I don't play second fiddle to anyone. I really do wonder whether later on in this season he is going to kind of sort of go through with this to some degree. I don't know how.
Maybe.
I can't imagine that the Penguin is going to get killed off, or can really, but I think there might be some kind of coup or something.
I can't imagine they're going to stay friends forever. Yeah,
no.
So I wonder if in this moment was it kind of Nygma saying, kind of setting Butch up, but if Butch had been successful, if he'd somehow gotten a different gun and the plan had succeeded, maybe Ed wouldn't have been too unhappy. Do you know what I mean?
Probably
Maybe
not.
it was that.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting as well. It was great to see Zaz back in the episode, but it was really good to see sort of Zaz on Ed Nygma's side here, shooting Butch in, I think it was in the leg. So Butch really kind of gets exposed for his wheeler dealings behind the scenes, but it does ultimately bring Penguin and Ed closer together. Embracing together back at Ed's gaff. I'll do anything for you. You can always count on me. I wonder if this is the start of an even more beautiful relationship.
Maybe.
I wonder.
Maybe,
It could well be. And, well, let's hope, eh?
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, they have a platonic relationship at the moment. Will it go any further?
You never know. Yeah, there does seem to be definitely a deepness to their friendship.
Definitely.
It's getting deeper as we go on. On to case note 2, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Bruce and Jim exchanging dating tips. Boy, David Mazouz is growing up fast, definitely, isn't he?
Yeah, like a weed, I think, according to Bullock.
Yeah.
Growing thin and strong and quickly like a weed.
Yeah.
But yeah, this exchange between the two of them was really really good. And like even just like with Gordon's look on his face as he's kind of right, okay, he knows how much Bruce Wayne sort of feels for Selina.
Absolutely.
He knows that, and sort of Bruce is kind of playing it down a lot, but really really good. Not that necessarily Bruce should be taking dating tips off Jim Gordon, given the train wrecks that lie behind him.
That's
but
true.
Really good.
I really enjoyed that moment with the two of them, with Jim and Bruce, where Jim has guessed that the relationship with Selina has been going on a while. So nothing's really happened. Obviously, we know that, but he knows, like we all do, that Bruce is very deeply in love with Selina, which we see later on in the episode. We do see a moment between the two of them, which you mentioned in your synopsis, where Bruce tells Selina finally of his feelings. Finally tells her he's in love with her. Gets a kiss off her, but I don't think he really does get any further confirmation as to whether Selina has any love for him at all. We know, obviously, she's a teenage girl. The two of them have been getting on very well. We know there's something in their relationship, but Selina loves messing with Bruce's mind because he's a young guy who's not hugely experienced.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously it was at the party. As all good parties, there has to be some kind of office gossip at the end. But they're up on the roof, so it's
classic Batman.
Yeah, really good. I really like it. There's something between us. Rule 1: don't tell me what I must do. As she goes in for the kissy kiss kind of thing, and like, I don't really think it will go any further? I wonder. I mean, like, will it develop over the course of the season? I'm not entirely sure whether it will do.
As I say, I think Bruce is as bewildered before that scene as he was after that scene as he was before the scene. but I do like how he calls out that Jim has found a new beau. I love that little moment where they're sitting down having breakfast together, and Bruce says to Jim, who's the new woman in your life? I noticed in your house there was a coffee cup with some lipstick on it. Again, another great Batman moment. He's really got that style of picking up everything in a room. You know, Jim's apartment is an absolute mess, yet Bruce was able to pick out one cup with lipstick on it. Very impressive.
Very impressive. And even just, I think you had spotted it, when Bruce arrives at his apartment, it's, do you want a drink? As though he's going to offer him a whiskey, and then suddenly he goes, a glass of water. Yeah, really, really good. And of course, Jim and Valerie Vale's relationship seems to be getting more and more familiar as time goes by. Gate crashes her working dating relationship and meal at some restaurant. But yeah, I suspect it won't last, though. It's Jim Gordon. I still think, despite everything he said in the GCPD to Leslie Tompkins, where it's like, it's your life, you can do what you want. Yeah, and I think that's to try and rile her, to get her thinking. I think something's going to happen. She is marrying a Falcone, after all.
Very true. Very true. And in fairness to Valerie, she does have that moment with Jim where she says, I'm not going to stay over another night, because then it would be a thing. So she's still got that personality about her where she's kind of going, okay, I don't mind sleeping with you, I don't mind having a relationship with you, but this will not become a thing, right? So I really like that about Val. It's cool. Yeah,
definitely. But there's someone else that gets to the GCPD in this episode as well, I think, with our third note. Nygma returns to his previous workplace as he returns to the GCPD. Yeah, he has now, he's swapped his forensic lab jacket with all authority and power bestowed on him by the mayor's office, throwing threats around to Captain Barnes.
That's right. Yeah,
if you don't allow me all the access that I need to follow up on effectively the attack on the statue by the Red Hood gang, then we can always appoint another commissioner who will fire you.
The commissioners have always been in the pocket of the mayor.
Absolutely.
Up until one future commissioner who still hasn't gotten that role yet. But
he's still, and he seems as far as he ever was from it with his sort of his Han Solo-esque existence at the moment.
Poor Jim.
Yeah, well, poor Jim.
But this moment of Nygma returning to GCPD does lead to some great moments in there with other characters. Love his meeting with Harvey Bullock. Obviously, we've been looking for our Bullockism of the week. There isn't really one here, but I kind of am going to take Nygma's comment to Bullock as my Bullockism of the week. It's not really a Bullockism, but it's about Bullock. I just love that Nygma says to him, still a stranger to a wash and a haircut. And a good shave. Yeah, it's good. A good little moment really to play between the two of those. There's never been any love lost between Nygma and Harvey, and nice to see that relationship back there as well. And then also we get the final meeting again of Nygma and Lucius Fox. Last season, Lucius Fox was basically at death's door because of a riddle that Nygma had set up for him. But we find out in this episode that Nygma wasn't as bad as he said he was. That was only knockout gas that was in the room. If they didn't answer the riddle, they'd just be knocked out. It wasn't something that would kill them. So does that make Nygma okay? Not really. But I do like Lucius's threat, where he says to him, if you ever do anything like that, if you ever threaten my life or the life of Bruce Wayne again, I will find a way to end you. And then says to him, be careful what you touch, basically, because I could have left something on any of the instruments that I know you're going to touch while you're in my lab. That could be the thing that will take you out.
A bit of poisoning.
Nice little threat.
A bit of a threat. And not the only threat that Nygma gets whilst he's back at the GCPD. There's that, obviously, the nice one with Lucius Fox. Bit of ricin on the microscope would have sorted out Ed Nygma. But we get Leslie Tompkins. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed her threatening Nygma. First with a good old right hook to the face.
And I mean,
Ed Nygma's expression as he's been punched, and just the glare and the scowl that he gives towards her, but she just stands up to him and, threatens him with her father-in-law, Carmine Falcone. If anything happens to me, then you'll be gone. I will get my father-in-law to take you out. Really heavy stuff from Leslie Tompkins. I love the fact that she ends it with kind of a really bright and breezy kind of, if there's anything that the mayor wants me to do to help, I'm absolutely free to do it. No problems whatsoever. Love that. And Nygma just feels absolutely sort of crestfallen. He's completely there. Because you could see him at the start where he was leaning against the wall. It was fairly dark, the corridor. You knew he was going to be threatening. He was going to be smarmy. And in fairness as well, Leslie does it for Christine Kringle. So good on her. Because, we see actually from Nygma's response, he's moved beyond that sort of double schizophrenic kind of bipolar existence, and he really doesn't seem to show any remorse for the fact that he has done, at least not now. It's almost as though the whole Nygma, the Riddler persona has now taken over. I thought that was an interesting touch, actually. Definitely.
And then the final one really is just Nygma working with the GCPD. It seems here that if he wasn't working with them, they wouldn't have found out the connection between Butch Gilzean and the Red Hood gang.
No, Lucius would have found out, definitely.
Well, it looks like Harvey's willing to quit. He tells everybody to get out and go home, as they're doing the investigation into the room. It's Ed that realizes that there are suits there for every member of the Red Hood gang that are made by the same person that's crafted Butch's suit. So.
But that's Ed looking for who's behind the Red Hood gang.
True.
They have found it as far as Butch is concerned. Sorry, no, as Butch, as far as Bullock is concerned, it's like, they're all dead. It's done. We're not going to lose any sleep. Go home, grab a whiskey, come in bright and early tomorrow.
Absolutely. It's happy hour time, right? Love it. But yeah, I think Nygma, that's probably what let him get the insight that Butch is heavily connected here. Yeah. And one other big kind of point for the episode, we don't see much of it this time. This is Mad City, so they are keeping the storyline of the Mad Hatter alive. So our next case note is, what's in Alice's blood? What is it? It's really powerful, it seems. It's gotten Captain Barnes to walk again.
Yeah, without his crutch, absolutely.
And he seems very pleased about it as well.
Well, we get a glimpse of it, obviously in Leslie's lab, where she basically says that it effectively a psycho mouse in the lab goes off and causes a massive massacre amongst all the lab mice, but basically gets through the cages to get to the other mice. So it's like increased strength, it's more sort of unhinged behavior, bloodthirst, whatever it may be. I don't suspect this is going to be good news for Captain Barnes.
No, I don't think so.
That bad stuff that happens around his eyes, blood, the blood veins popping, looks kind of like he's going to go mental, really sort of lose the plot. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to end out well for Barnes, but I can't wait to see, is he going to morph into something much like deformed from what he is, stronger, bigger? Is he going to lose it and sort of run off down an alleyway, down into a sewer or something, and really sort of be lost from the GCPD?
I thought you were thinking he was Killer Croc there for a second.
Well, maybe.
Interesting. Yeah, there was an interview with Michael Chiklis before this season started where he said that this whole storyline is the reason why he took the role within Gotham, where he will have a change and he will potentially become a character from the Batman comic books. Potentially a villain, didn't say, but I think it's likely that he's going to become a villain, right?
Yeah, I really can't wait to see what he morphs into, to be honest.
Absolutely. Interesting one. But yeah, I'm sure there's lots more to come in the rest of Mad City on the blood of Alice Tetch.
And of course, speaking of blood, we do see her brother, the Mad Hatter, in a really, really cool room. Poor lady having a throat sliced open with some kind of mannequin thing hanging over, whether that's a dead body, I don't know, but all set up for Alice in Wonderland's tea party.
Yeah.
Out comes the knife, slit goes the neck, and he writes Jim Gordon's name. He is absolutely looking for vengeance for the death of his sister, and is still obviously mourning her loss. But I can't wait for him to go after Jim Gordon. I really can't. I mean, so far, the Mad Hatter, Jervis Tetch, I've absolutely loved his presence on the screen.
Yeah.
It's been really, really good. He was in Walking Dead, but he really gives a presence about him, and I can't wait to see what he does to go after Jim, basically.
Yeah. It's really cool. I love this idea that his mind is now snapped that bit further. He always seemed a bit in control, much more in control, I think, in the previous episodes, whereas this time he's lost Alice now, and now he's kidnapping a woman, calling her Alice, and then killing her and using her blood to write the letter to Jim. So he's gone off the reservation now.
He has gone off, definitely. But I can't wait to see what happens. I really hope it gets kind of drawn out over this season, maybe this battle between the two of them. I wonder whether it's just going to be a first half of the season kind of thing. Maybe. But the longer the Mad Hatter sticks around, the better. Really good. And certainly now that, say, Ed Nygma is in a more respectable role, I mean, I say that, but I mean, Penguin's going off doing stuff as though he's not the mayor. I mean, the fact that, one of his team, Butch, machine guns the Red Hood gang, even though it's to save his own neck, you don't really say that at a press conference, I don't think. But nonetheless, it is Gotham.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, if the police are saying it's all done and dusted now, well then who are we to say otherwise? But
yeah, I love that little moment with Nygma where he's telling him that his mom would be proud of Oswald, and he says to him that the reason your mom would be proud is because the people of Gotham love you, all the gangs fear you. Those two things really shouldn't marry up. And a person that wants their parents to be proud of them.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
As you say, it's Gotham.
Absolutely. So Derek, what's note number 5?
Our final point is the party at Sirens. It's kind of cool. I love this setting. We said it earlier on in the season, having Barbara and Tabitha, a couple together owning this Sirens club is really cool. I love having a club in the city of Gotham. It's always a great place to get music in there because they love the music in the show. But it's always a great moment to have loads of characters meet up. Having Sean Pertwee's Alfred and Bruce Wayne going and meeting the mayor for the first time since that scene at the end of season 2, where Alfred says to Oswald, I felt it was fortuitous when you arrived with that bazooka, but I thought it was sad for Stan the gardener as he was picking up brains for weeks from Wayne Manor. I thought that was just a great little moment with the two of them, because you can tell there's a little kind of weirdness about that relationship. If it wasn't for the current mayor of Gotham, the previous mayor would have killed Bruce,
Yeah, absolutely.
But a bazooka might have been overkill.
Oh, really good. And even just at the end, I think Bruce has gone off to find Selina, and Alfred just turns to Penguin and goes, right, I'm off to wet my beak. Really, really good. Really rubbing in the Penguin sort of monocle with Cobblepot.
Very good.
Really, really enjoyed. Whenever the two, Alfred and Bruce are on screen, it always makes for great dialogue, I think. And it was good having them meet up with previously bazooka wielding Cobblepot. That was such a great scene from the end of season 2, and it's a nice little reference back then to this season. Yeah,
absolutely. And obviously, one of the owners of the Sirens bar, Barbara, does get another great moment when she's inviting. Actually not inviting people to the party at Sirens for the mayor, where she's saying to all the gangs going, there's a party in my place, it's going to be amazing, none of you are allowed to come. Great little note. I love Barbara.
It's even when all the crap is going down in the bar, Butch has just been shot. I think he's jumped onto Ed Nygma to strangle him because Tabitha's gotten free.
Yeah.
She comes in, knife wielding, stabbing people. Butch, I think, chucks Zaz across the bar, goes for Nygma, and you've got Barbara then just on the stage going, "What a party," into the microphone, swigging back champagne, which is lucky for Penguin because he uses that to knock Butch out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like setting a ship off.
I do kind of get this feeling that Barbara would have worked really well in like a Western tavern, those kind of places that always had the old mall owning the place, who was kind of really happy when there's a fight started because that means everybody's all liquored up and spent loads of money in the place.
Even just when she brings Butch in before the party, and because they found out that he is the leader of the Red Hood gang, and it's just the look on her face and just the way she says, if we can find out that it's you who leads these Red Hood gangs, what about Nygma and the GCPD?
Absolutely.
Really, really good, I think. I must say, I really enjoy what they've done with Barbara's character after effectively, she was traumatized in season 1, and her and Jim effectively drifted apart. It's really good to see her back like this. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. I do want to talk about this. I'll go into note, actually, really. It's just about the relationship between Barbara and Tabitha. It's kind of cool seeing this relationship between the two of them. They're a couple. They've
definitely
been a couple since the three of them lived together, Barbara, Tabitha, and Butch. But I kind of like that there's a little extra dimension to the relationship with Butch. I like that as Tabitha goes out to save Butch at the end of the episode, Barbara says to her, "Is there anything you need from me, babe?" It's just reinforcing that there is a relationship. But Tabitha's still going out on her motorbike to save Butch from the back of the ambulance. Kind of like that there's this interesting proper triangle. It's not
definitely,
there's kind of a friendship there, not a relationship between all three of them, but I kind of like that to keep them going.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, what is the Bullockism of the week, Derek?
I think I chose one earlier on as my Bullockism of the week. The only other one that was in the episode that was the happy hour moment. Get ready for happy hour, boys, clear out. Just thought it was quite good. And then just one little kind of jibe at Oswald that he gives to Nygma, which is, "Where is our Lord Mayor? Is he hiding under his desk?" Which is a little jab at Oswald not being as confident or as aggressive as he purports to be to everybody in the public. I thought that was a nice little jibe, but not a huge amount of Bullockism. But if we did miss any this week,
I don't think we did, but I know what you mean. If we did miss any, then please send in the Bullockism that you think of the week or of this season so far, up to episode 5, absolutely. Or if you're way ahead, like our friends in America, well then obviously you can send in a Bullockism of the week for our prize, which is a vinyl pop of Harvey Bullock.
He's sitting over on our desk just over there. I just can't reach him at the moment. So but you can get our prize, which is really cool. There will be some more prizes added to the pot later on in the season.
Absolutely.
But at the moment, it's just the lovely little Harvey Bullock pop. So send in those to feedback@defenderstvpodcast.com, your Bullockisms of the week. Thank you so much for those so far. Been really good hearing from you. And if you want to send in any feedback at all, just email us at feedback@defenderstvpodcast.com. John, what did you think of the episode overall?
I'm giving this a good solid 3.5 right hooks to Nygma's face out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I do think it was maybe a bit of a not a filler episode, but it was certainly trying to push the story on from Penguin being elected and so on. But it was dealing primarily with the unease with which Butch found himself, and I think that's what was the great thing about this episode, seeing Butch try and tackle effectively this challenge through the ranks from Nygma, and to try and reassert himself back as the true right hand man of Cobblepot. I really enjoyed seeing the Red Hoods back. I still think it's a really useful thing to have running through this series, just because of its connection with the Joker. So I really enjoyed that. I loved just the mayhem that came at the party, the potential for a double cross from Cobblepot.
Absolutely.
I still think there's some truth in that, and I'm really looking forward to see if that actually does happen. And to be honest, it'll be good to see now how this moves on with Jervis Tech. So it was kind of setting a few things up as well.
Absolutely.
With the Jervis Tech vengeance, but also importantly, and one thing maybe that we haven't really covered too much, was the search for Ivy Pepper, and obviously Selena and Ivy meeting unknowns to Selena in the Sirens Bar at the party. So that again is another really intriguing thing to start to happen. But they have met, and Bruce has got Jim on the case searching for Ivy Pepper.
Yeah.
So really, I enjoyed all those aspects coming in. So a really good episode of Gotham for me.
Yeah. It's like, obviously it's quite a long series with 22 episodes. It's a lot longer than the other ones that we cover over in Defenders TV Podcast. So it does have to set up and do a lot of setup on a regular basis for what's going to happen down the line. I suppose a lot more than we would see in the other shows that we have. But I have to say, the one thing about this episode, again, it put Butch Gilzean on death watch for me again. I was going, oh no, please don't kill off Drew. Please don't kill off Drew Powell in the show. Wouldn't like to see Butch gone. But it seemed like it was almost impossible that he was going to get out of this. He seemed like he'd lost all his friends. Everybody seemed to be on the opposite side. Zaz, who he's worked with many times before,
absolutely
opposed him. Nygma's going, kill Oswald, and he's going to go, well, that's my only real friend, but... well, if you want me to, I'll join up with you, But it's nice to see the end of the episode. It's nice that Tabitha is going to go and save him, just showing that there is still a relationship between the two of them.
And I do think that, Butch was forced into that move because Tabitha was being held.
Absolutely.
Ultimately, I think. So, he does have a respect and a loyalty to Penguin to some degree. Obviously, that sounds a bit strange given that he tried to kill him, and obviously he was trying to undermine he was trying to undermine Nygma, but it was through attacking Penguin. So, I still think he's loyal to Penguin. I just think he thinks that Nygma is bad news, and that's why I wonder whether ultimately, whilst Ed did betray him at this moment, whether what he says there is a grain of truth there.
Yeah, possibly. That's it for our episode coverage, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. On to feedback. We have some feedback from Daniel Butcher. Thank you, Daniel, for sending in the feedback. He goes, so this episode for me is all about the relationships. Yes, everyone will focus on Riddler Penguin and the growth in their duo, but for me, Bruce Selena, it's been 3 seasons, so I'm all good with a kiss. I've gotten to the point where these two are true loves, and I really enjoy it. Honestly, I recently read a comic during Bruce's amnesia days, and him not remembering who she was, for me, was more painful than him not remembering he's Batman. And for me, someone who likes Butch, you go, girl, you get your boy out of custody. Poor Butch, again, at least someone loves you, buddy, enough to break you out.
Nice.
Daniel. Thank you, Daniel, for that. It's really appreciated. And yeah, I mean, it was great to see Tabitha at the end chasing after the police van to go and rescue her man. And yeah, I mean, it does seem strange. It's season 3 and they're kind of close. She was closer to the doppelganger, but it's a good thing to see. And yeah, and it feels natural. It feels right. And I think it probably needs that time. So yeah, it's a really good point here, I think, in this. Yeah.
And to be fair to the doppelganger, he was more open with Selena than Bruce ever has been. This is the first time Bruce has ever told her his feelings for her. So it is a great moment. And yeah, there's such a long, rich history in the comic books between Batman and Catwoman, and between Bruce and Selena. We've even seen in the films as well. So it is great to see these two characters getting a bit closer. But as I say, I'm not too sure whether Bruce has has much more knowledge about Selena after that moment that he did before. Thanks so much, Daniel. So great to hear from you, as always. If you want to send in your feedback, just email us at feedback@gothamtvpodcast.com, or you can pop over and join us on our Facebook group over at facebook.com/groups/GothamTVPodcast.
Absolutely. And of course, we are on Twitter as well, at Gotham TV Podcast. So come over and join us there for all our tweets on Gotham. And of course, you can watch our Gotham TV Podcast episodes over on our YouTube channel every Wednesday, or you can listen, of course, at gothamtvpodcast.com/iTunes, or search any other good podcast catcher for Gotham TV Podcast.
Absolutely.
We will be back for episode 6 of Gotham Mad City, Follow the White Rabbit, next Wednesday, the 17th of May.
I know.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to get a lot of Jervis Tech.
I think we might.
Hooray.
Can't wait to see more Jervis Tech. That's awesome.
Can't wait. As always, thank you so much for listening. It's really good for you being here with us, sharing and listening to our thoughts on all things Gotham. And we will speak with you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Hopefully we'll see a few of you at the end of the month over at Heroes Villains Fan Fest in London.
Definitely.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week on the 17th of May.
Absolutely. Take care, guys and gals. Bye.
Thanks for being a Butch supporter. Butch loves you, baby.